I was sitting at a coffee shop the other day and I was waiting for an appointment. And while I was sitting, I just started writing. It was the only piece of paper that I had, and luckily I had a pen with me. And as I was writing, I shouldn't have been surprised at how much was coming out of me. It was just like free flow writing. But I came to the end of the piece of paper and I was trying to write like on the corner and I just didn't have enough. So I grabbed a couple of napkins and I kept writing. And then the napkin situation, it was workable, but it wasn't the best ideal way of getting my thoughts down because I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to read this later, and hopefully I won't scrunch up the napkin and think it's something to throw away later and realize I got rid of my writing. But I was like, it's okay. I just finished that last sentence and then I looked up, and where I looked up, I was in a Starbucks, and where I looked up, there was a white sweatshirt, like the back of a hoodie, a white sweatshirt on a guy. He was facing the window, so his back was towards me. And I see this big emblem that says Dragonfly team on it. And I was like, wow. I actually have goosebumps right now. For those of you who don't know, the last gift that my mom gave me before she passed away, before we even knew that she was sick or gonna pass away or anything, was a dragonfly necklace pendant. It was blue. It was beautiful. And when my mom was alive, we thought it was a butterfly, but I had gone into a massage appointment months later, and the massage therapist said, "Oh, I love your dragonfly." And I was like, "Dragonfly?" I said, "I thought it was a butterfly." And she said, "No, no, you can tell by the tail." And she's really into dragonflies. Anyway, over a couple of years or whatever, I lost this pendant and I was just so distraught over losing it. I cannot find anything like it. And to be honest, I don't think I want to find one just like it because doesn't feel the same because my mom bought it for me. But because of that, dragonflies are like my symbol. Like dragonflies just surround me everywhere since my mom passed away. And I've been learning how magical they are, not just because of the way they look, but because they actually are supposed to represent heaven and earth and be like a symbol of like a message from heaven, from a loved one. And so whenever I see a dragonfly, I just get really excited. And I feel like I just know that I'm in the right place at the right time. And I feel like my mom is sort of saying, "Hey, I'm here." And I don't think she knew what dragonflies were, but it doesn't matter. They say that sometimes family members or, heavenly spirits send you messages in your language, not necessarily how they lived here, but what resonates with you. So, yeah, I look up and this sweatshirt in big letters said the Dragonfly team. I haven't even looked up what that means or what that refers to. But I was thinking, I would not have seen this if I had not run out of napkin paper to write on. Because within a few seconds, like I would say maybe a minute, that guy got up and left. So if I had been still writing, I wouldn't have seen my dragonfly symbol. I did take some pictures of him from the back as I sat there looking at it in awe. And then I did try to kind of scribble down after he left that, you know, that I wanted to do this video to tell you guys about it. Then I went to my appointment. And when I was at the appointment, there was the cutest little kid in the waiting room. He was sitting on his dad's knee, and he kept doing this, and I was like asking the dad, is he doing that or are you rocking him? And he's like, no, he can't sit still, and he loves movement, and he's so curious about the world. I don't know how old he was, like maybe 2 years old, but his eyes were so big and he kept smiling at me, and I just was like, even though I knew I had an appointment soon and I had to leave the waiting room, I just didn't want to go because he was so entertaining. I think his dad was a little sick because he kept sniffling and stuff, but he was still trying to, like, you know, keep the son engaged, and the mom was sitting next to them. And so she had brought some little books and toys and things to, like, give him to keep him occupied for a bit. But he was still sitting on his dad's knee, and then his dad said he loves, like, he can't walk right now, like, yet, but he loves trying to walk. So his dad put him standing on his knee, and he said, yeah, his favorite thing right now to do is to try to stand. So his son would sit on the knee, and then he would start stomping like he's marching, trying to walk on his dad's leg. And his dad was like, oh my God, it's kind of painful, but it's okay. And so, you know, I think they were kind of also showing off his skills. Like, the parents were like, look at my son, look at him go. And I was completely enamored by this kid. Like, I was so in love with him. And I think the kid knew because he kept looking over at me. I felt like he was sort of winking at me, but anyway, it was so adorable. So the woman pulled out these toys and things, and the first little toy, it looked like a squeaky toy, and he didn't seem that excited about it. And another toy was like a plush little soft one, and he kind of he seemed more excited to look around the weight room and see what was around him. And yeah, he was definitely very curious about everything and everyone. And then they pulled out this book that was like a fabric book. So it was kind of like, it made this rustling noise when you touched it, but the pages were made of fabric. And the dad was reading it to him. I don't even know if there were really words on it. It was more pictures. So the dad said, this is the, I don't know what it was, soccer ball. This is the tree. This is the owl. You know, there were animals in it. There was nature in it. There was sports kind of things in it. And then it was just about my turn. I was just called to go in to leave the weight room and go see my doctor. And then the last page came up. And the dad said, and this is a dragonfly. And I turned around and I said, did you just say dragonfly? And he said, yeah. So I told them the story about my mom. And this little kid was looking at me. I was looking at the dragonfly. I was thinking about the dragonfly team. And I just thought, like, the workings of the universe right now are so amazing. And I had actually just told that couple, actually, now that I think about it, before the dragonfly came up, that my mom loved little kids, and she always wanted to have, like, she always tried to have like a little doll or cars, toy cars, like new ones, in her purse or with her, so that if she saw a little kid, she could give them to them. And I was saying, like, I wish I had something with me because I feel like I want to give something to your son, kind of as like my mom is doing it. Like she's telling me, give him something, but I didn't have something with me. And then the dragonfly thing came up, and I felt like it was like my mom sort of saying, it's okay, they gave something to you, or I'm here. I heard it, I saw it, I saw the really cute kid that you're right, I would have loved to, and I would have wanted to give him something. Yeah, so I feel like I have a dragonfly team around me. They show up everywhere. A lot of them are real. Some of them are little, I don't know, knick-knack things. They show up in the weirdest of windows that you wouldn't expect them in now in kids' books. On the back of a sweatshirt. I just love these messages from heaven and symbols that I think are really meant to just remind us of the magic of there's less of there's less space than we think, I think, between heaven and earth. It's not as far as we think it is. And I'm curious if you believe in signs or symbols, if you get any from loved ones who have passed away, or if you, I have actually thought about this, like what signs and symbols would I give, for example, to my nieces when I pass away? Like, I know to my youngest niece, I would probably send her a lot of turtles and sparkles and magic, because that's my nickname for her. Magic things like bunnies, especially bunnies, because she had one, and rabbits out of a hat kind of thing, and anything to do with dance, because she loved that. With my oldest niece, it would definitely be music and lyrics, and yeah, I feel like it would be more to do with rhythm and lyrics or poetry or writing, like words. I think she's very connected to words, but I have to think of symbols. Yeah, anything musical for sure. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think? And talk to you soon.